Hello and welcome everyone to Tell Me Why. We're still here trying to figure out what happened in the past of our mother, how she got to the point where obviously we remember her. And in order to do that, we have to go through these puzzles, I would call them, which has been very illuminating so far. So let's waste no time.
This.
Some sort of map?
One day she took her tiara and ran away from the forest. So that is where she is.
That's the Gold Lady's castle.
Oh, that is basically her journey.
What's that plant thing on top?
Oh, those are definitely salmonberry flowers.
Yeah,
Hey,
I think
that degree in outdoor studies is paying off.
that is then where she was in a commune. Then
Some
she
sort of
became
clock.
a clockmaker. Through that, she got to
This
the
is
house.
the princess's house.
And that is how she
This
got
looks
there.
like a dinner party with the old bear and the very old beaver.
Nailed it.
Yes.
E.
What's in there? Another letter?
Oh, here's just one.
The princess's loss. Is this from the Book of Goblins?
Not that I know of.
Well, sure looks like it could be.
The princess's loss. Once upon a time, in an ancient and deep forest, there lived a wise princess in a big wooden house. She had made it through the woods and to that house with nothing left but the clothes on her back and a single item from her old life, a splendid tiara. She lost almost everything in her desperate flight from the mad hunter. The trees tore the rucksack from her back and shredded her dress and left a pattern of red welts on her skin. But through it all, she clutched the tiara close to her chest, fearing any misstep could cause it to fall from her arms and break. The tiara had its own spot in the big wooden house, a pillow near the window, where the sun would catch on its surface to shine and wink. The princess could stare for hours at the tiara, marveling in its beauty and running her thumb down its curves. Every morning she would wake and she would tend to it, polishing its every surface to be sure it shone as brightly as possibly could. Then she would pluck it up, place it upon her head, and walk the woods, feeling somehow more complete. Because what, after all, was a princess without a crown? Every night she would place it upon its pillow, give it a quick kiss, and go to bed. And on her way, she would pause and glance back to be sure it was still there. She hated to be separated from it, but she knew it was safest on the pillow while she slept. One night the princess woke to a raging storm. The wind howled against the walls, rattling in the windows and their panes. Fearing a gust might burst open a window and blow the tiara to the ground, she plucked it from its pillow and brought it to bed with her. All through the night she held the tiara close, and in the morning she woke to find herself still cradling it. The storm has passed, and the princess relaxed. That day was the same as any other, though she perhaps gave the tiara an even more thorough cleaning, grateful as she was that nothing had gone wrong. That night she placed the tiara upon its pillow, gave it a quick kiss, and went to bed, pausing on her way to be sure it was still there. In the morning, she woke and sensed immediately that something was wrong. In the living room, the tiara lay upon the ground, broken, dull, and faded. Nothing else in the room had changed. The pillow was exactly where she had left it. The window was closed. There had been no storm, no wind, no sign of anything at all could have gone amiss. Only the broken tiara mute upon the ground. She picked it up and held it in his arm with a guttural cry. But though she tried to fix and to polish it, it was gone, beyond repair, and with no shine left. The princess held the tiara through the day and through the next night, sitting in the same spot at the window where she used to polish it when the sun rose. She looked outside and her gaze fixed on the sapling. She remembered how this sapling had survived the winter, clinging to life despite the frozen, unforgiving deaths. Without a word, she went out and buried the tiara in the ground beneath the sapling, and as the final scoop of dirt fell, the tiara felt truly gone, and with it, the final link to her old self. She could only go forward and find a new place for herself in the world, where she was no longer truly a princess in a tiara and a beautiful gown, but a one woman alone in a deep and ancient forest. And that was how the tiara lost her most precious treasure and her title. Now, maybe I'm thinking too much into that, but that may sound to me that the tiara was actually maybe our sibling, a baby, and the baby died because nobody knew of her and she was alone. She buried the baby. Nobody ever knew about it. Oof, if that's the case, that's some heavy stuff.
And that was how the princess lost her most precious treasure and her title. That was the story she read us that night.
God, it makes sense now.
Yeah, she got pregnant.
Yeah.
And she ran away to start a new life. And then she made her way to Delos Crossing, where she was finally happy. But then the baby died.
I can't even imagine how she must have felt. She left everything behind, built a whole new life for him. And then he was just gone.
I guess having us helps her move on. But when it looked like we were going to be taken away, she snapped. She just couldn't lose any more children. It really wasn't anything we did.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with all this.
I don't either, but all I wanted was to understand what happened to her. And now I do.
Yeah. But we still haven't seen what's in that chest.
True. Oof.
Okay,
That is...
so how do we open it?
The princess lost her most precious treasure. That's why it all happened.
I still can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah, that's so terrible.
Back in your pond, Big Frog.
Oh.
Gold Lady stays locked up in her castle. The old bear's gotta be in his ice cave. We'll let the mangy muskrat have his rock back. The Ice King goes in the forest, obviously. There you go, stalwart moose. Crafty goblins go here. That's the pious pelican spot.
That's so cool.
The wise princess goes in the big wooden house, of course. The moon hag's gotta be imprisoned in her lake. Why are these pictures from the Book of Goblins here?
I don't know.
This looks like there's another door inside there.
Why don't we solve this one first?
Okay. So we have an O looking, then an L looking, and an E looking. Oli?
Alright, should be easy enough.
Maybe I'm thinking too much of it. That's it, right?
The princess lost her most precious treasure.
Yeah.
That's why it all happened.
I still can't wrap my head around it.
Wait, why doesn't...
Alright, should be easy enough.
Or not? That's it, right? Oh, we have different colors, maybe? Oh, different colors. So, red is L, yellow O, orange E.
Why don't we just break this open? There's a crowbar right downstairs.
What? No. You don't want to try and figure out what all this means?
I'm so done with her riddles.
There we go.
Yes.
Oof. Let's see.
Whoa.
Did it just get darker in here?
Let's see.
Ollie. She noticed. I was her son.
Dear Alyson and Ollie, we write stories to understand and be understood, but what good is a story without a first act? I'm sorry I kept mine from you for so long.
Why does she have a photo of that tree locked in here?
Oh, because that's where the baby is buried. Oof.
Is that...
Leo Ronan.
Leo, yeah.
Why didn't she tell us about him? Why didn't she tell us any of this?
I mean, it's fucking terrible. That's why. Allie, did we do the right thing opening this?
We did. It's better we know what happened, even if it's hard. And there's one more thing we need to see.
Are you sure?
Yes. Come on, let's go to the dock. It's time to finish this.
I do want to... Wait. I do want to see...
A baby blanket?
Hey, now that we're done with the important stuff, maybe we can take a crack at these?
Yeah, definitely.
The very old beaver's repair list.
That's the story where the princess's house gets damaged by a storm and the animals help her fix it.
Yeah. What did they do to fix it again?
Okay. Where do we have that one? Do we have a sign? The very old beaver's repair list. Oh, I can go here. Beavers fix the house, right? Once upon a time, in an ancient and deep forest, there lived a wise princess in a big wooden house. One night, a particularly violent storm shook the house. It shook the shingles on the roof and the planks in the wall. It even took the beams on which the house stood, blowing the whole thing near to the ground. The princess hid in a closet, fearing the house would come down on her as she slept. In the morning, the house was still standing, but it was badly damaged. The storm had blown shingles off the roof and planks off the walls, and even bent at a post upon which the house stood. The first two things she could fix, but the last concerned her. Okay. Had blown the shingles off the roof and planks off the wall. Okay, what would I do? Despaired the wise princess, for though she had knew many things, she did not know how to fix the big wooden house. Just then the old bear came by to see if the princess had any trouble in the storm. When he found her nailing plans back into place, he said, "Stop, princess, let me do that for you. I'm happy to do it," said the princess. "But if you want to help with the roof, you may." When the pair were done with the roof and the walls, they examined the bent support post. I could throw my body against it, said the old bear. I'm very large. He stretched up onto his hind legs, being sure the princess could appreciate how very large she was, and then charged straight at the post. He threw his body against it with an impressive thud. The impact moved the post, but too far, and it ended up bent the other direction. The wise princess decided more precision was needed. She thought then of the very old beaver, who kept an excellently crafted dam. Perhaps she can help. She went looking for the very old beaver and found the industrious animal hard at work slapping down mud on a part of the dam that had been blown apart in the storm. Most of the structure was unharmed because the beaver was very good at building things. The princess knew she had come to the right place. Beaver, she said, my house was damaged in the storm. Would you help me fix it? I believe I could do that, said the very old beaver, and she paused at fixing her own den to follow the princess. The very old beaver examined the big wooden house and nodded. It will be an easy fix, she said. And she set about righting the post with loud slaps of her tail. When she was done, the wise princess stroked the beaver's head. Thank you, beaver, she said. The wind blew the shingles off the roof and the planks off the wall and even bent this post. Now, thanks to you, I still have a home. Think nothing of it, said the very old beaver, who returned to work on her own den once again. That winter the very old beaver grew ill, very ill. She was not able to fix her den, nor to gather food. When the princess found out, she set about delivering meals to the beaver. She brought stews of corn and beans and basket full of bark and twigs from the beaver's favorite aspen. One day the wise princess noticed that the beaver's den had begun to fall apart. She set about fixing it and thought she was not as talented as the very old beaver. The fix kept the creature warm and dry. Thank you, said the very old beaver. Of course, said the princess. You helped me when the storm blew my house near to the ground. Thanks to you, I still have a home, and I'm happy to do the same. The princess continued to nurse the old beaver until the day she came to the dam and the forest was still. No birds sang, no branches rustled, no small things skittered within the underbush. Oh, said the princess, staring sadly at the dam, for she knew the old beaver had passed on. Goodbye, my friend. That is how the very old beaver saved the big wooden house and how the wise princess repaired her kindness. So it was the shingles.
She fixed the roof shingles.
Oh no, that was
She
not.
fixed the broken window.
No, she
Maybe
didn't.
not.
Fixed this
She
one.
slapped the post with her tail to right it.
And this.
She fixed the planks that. All right.
There we go.
Damn. That must have been rough on Eddie.
Yeah, he doesn't really like to talk about her.
Dear Mary Ann, you cover your ears every time I try to have this conversation with you, so I thought I'd have a better chance doing this in a letter. I know you don't like saying goodbye, so I'll keep my melancholic rambling short and sweet. I want to thank you with all my heart for taking care of me for the past few months. I can't even imagine how exhausting it must have been for you to look after a sick old lady when you also have 2 small children at home. I know you want me to keep fighting this disease and hoping for recovery, but it's always been a great strength of mine to know when it's time to let go, and that time has come. I'd like to ask you for one last favor. Please take care of Eddie after I'm gone. My poor boy puts on a brave front ever since his father died, but I know he's in pain. I would be so much more at peace knowing he still has family. Maybe he could teach the kids how to fish. He loves spending time with them. Thank you for the warmth and peace you brought to my life. Give the kids a kiss from me. Will you? Carol. So that was Eddie's mom, I assume. Do you have
The
here?
old bear's gifts for the princess. I'm totally blanking on that story. What did he give her again?
Why don't we open up the book and check?
Okay, the old bears. Let's go through them. I enjoy these, and I want to know about this. Goblins, Moose, Mad Hunter. Was it the bear and the princess? Think so, right? Oh, we read that. What did she get her? Do they say what this is?
Fresh caught salmon? A
Think
newly
so.
bloomed bluebell?
Pretty sure that was the case.
A handful of ripe berries?
Yes.
Nice.
That was actually coincidence that I picked them in this order, but
Man, he had it
you
bad.
read that.
Just couldn't let go.
Sorry for the note under the door like a prison inmate. You okay? I stopped by and rang a couple of times this week, but you didn't answer. I could see the light in the hayloft, so I figured you were in but didn't want to talk. I hope I didn't ruin everything. I know I probably came on kind of strong, but the thing is, I don't know how to talk to a woman like you. You're strong and kind, and you know so much it's hard for me to know how to keep up. I guess all that went to my head, but I want you to know I got the message, and I'm gonna get out of your hair now, and there doesn't need to be any bad feelings. We can pass in the street and say hello, or not. It's okay. Yes, I noticed your car was leaking, so I put some sealant in there. You might need to take it to the shop, though. Let me know if you want me to come with you, because sometimes these guys try to rip you off. If not, no big deal. Sam. Yeah, that was the story about him proposing to her over and over.
That's from The Princess and the Two Thieves. I drew the original.
And I distinctly remember drawing that cake, which is arguably the best part of that illustration.
Of course.
All right, Picasso. And you probably remember what the goblins stole in that story, huh?
That I don't. Don't think we... Goblin and the Ice Cave. Goblins earn the voice. Old Beaver. Rotate the Ice King. Meet the Ice Troll. Trick the Muskrat. Ooh. Which one is this then? What is the illustration? Makes new friends. And the Two Thieves. There we go. Once upon a time in an ancient and deep forest, there lived a wise princess in a big wooden house. The house was built from the strong wood of the forest and kept the princess warm and safe. The princess was not a native of the forest, but she never spoke about where she had come from, for it made her cry. She did not have many friends, but that was how she liked it. The forest was big and deep, and many paths led to her house, but not many visitors passed by. The princess was happy to be left alone in the big house and in the deep forest. She knew that the forest would provide for her, but that its generosity had to be respected, so she only took what she needed. And for a long time, life was just fine for the princess in the big wooden house. One winter day, when snow blanketed the earth and ice bent the trees low, the wise princess realized that food was disappearing from her house. It was not much at first. Only a few fruits and nuts and eggs vanished during the night. Maybe it's the birds, she said, or the mice. And for a time, the princess was okay with losing some food, for the winter was long and little creatures needed to eat too. But then small items started to disappear as well. Spoons, plates, forks, and knives, and blankets. It was if every time she was in one part of the house, something disappeared in another room. That can't be the birds or mice, said the princess. I think I have a thief. She went outside to look for traces in the snow and noises in the wind, but there was nothing to be found nor to be heard. That's strange, said the princess. Maybe the thief is hiding inside my house. For many days she hunted, looking behind curtains and under the bed, and in the attic and in the chimney, behind the poles and under the carpets, but she found nothing. And as she searched, food kept on disappearing night after night. I will make a cake, frowned the princess, a big cake, with every egg and fruit and nut I still have, so that I only have one thing to keep my eye on. She spent the whole day making the cake and using everything she had left. The cake she made was so big she could hardly carry it. If I manage to protect the cake, I'll be able to survive the long winter, she said. So she added a lock to the oven, and she kept the big cake safe inside. But the next morning, the lock had been opened and the cake had disappeared. At first, the princess cried because the cake was the last of her food until the snow melted. But then she noticed 2 trails of tiny feet in the spilled flour, and she followed the tracks to a hidden hatch in the floorboards. This is how the princess realized that 2 tiny thieves were living under the wooden house right below her feet. Okay, so sold some fruits.
Maybe they took some of the princess's fruit?
Then we took, is that the spoon? Yeah.
What if they took some spoons?
Was it?
Didn't they take some of the princess's clothes?
No, I don't think so.
Maybe not.
What's this?
Some flour for the cake, maybe?
Nope. Didn't take that flour.
I'm pretty sure they stole some eggs.
Yep. There we go.
That's it. I always wondered where that drawing went. She said it was her favorite, and then one day it just disappeared.
Here it is. The prettiest princess. And then we have one more left here.
The crafty goblin's good deeds.
Of course. The goblins had to help out the creatures of the forest to pay off their debt to the pelican.
Well, what did they do?
You know, I don't really remember.
Okay. Goblin's good deeds. Ice cave. Trick the mad hunter. On the voice. Old beaver. Rotate. Ice troll. Trick the muskrat. Ooh. Which one is this? Goblins. The crafty goblin's good deeds.
The crafty goblin's good deed.
Which one is this? I don't think it's the party. Let's just go through it then. Muskrat. That's it. Which one is this?
Of course. The goblins had to help out the creatures of the forest to pay off their debt to the pelican.
Well, what did they do?
You know, I don't really remember.
They hugged the princess when she was crying. They broke open the beehive for the bear. They helped fix the beaver dam. They had to give nuts to the muskrat. They gave the stalwart moose a good scratch on the back. They removed a thorn from the frog's back.
Okay, that's definitely not it. Oh, it's this story. The pelican forgives the goblins. There we go. Oh, there's something written over. Once upon a time in a deep and ancient forest there lived a pair of crafty goblins in a cave below a big wooden house. They lived with a wise princess who shared as much food with them as she was able, but it was never quite enough. This left the goblins hungry, very hungry, always hungry. One day as they were foraging for food, the pious pelican landed on a rock and dumped a smorgasbord from her back, which the goblins knew was magic and never emptied. There were king crabs in red, blue, gold, and scarlet, veiny blue shrimp, pink shelled scallops, oblong brown clams, purple spiny urchins, and even one prickly red sea cucumber. The food just kept coming. They watched as the pelican ate one clam and then took a nap. Do you think she would mind if we took just a little? Asked one goblin to another. Her beak never empties. She won't possibly miss a couple of crabs, said the second, licking her lips. They were agreed, and so they crept over, filched some crabs, and ran. The goblins scarfed the crabs, but when they finished, they found that they were still hungry. She won't miss a handful of shrimp, said one goblin to the other. The goblins scarfed the shrimp, but when they finished, they found they were still hungry. Maybe also a few scallops, said one goblin to another. The goblins scarfed the scallops, but when they were finished, they found that they were still hungry. So they went back for clams and then urchins and finally even the sea cucumber. Finally, they were not hungry, but there was also nothing left. Just then the pelican woke up. What happened to my food, she asked. Unable to lie about it, the goblins confessed their crime. The pelican was dismayed, but she was a charitable-hearted bird, and she could tell the crafty goblins were growing little creatures. Goblin, said the pious pelican, I will share my food with you, but you must in return follow my example and be as generous with others as I am with you. Take that to heart, and I will have considered your debt paid. But we have nothing to give, said the goblin. You have your nimble hands and your crafty brains and your loving heart, said the pelican. The crafty goblins realized how much they had to give, and for the rest of the day they looked for ways to help the other creatures of the forest. They found the stalwart moose struggling with an itchy, hard-to-reach spot on the back, and so they climbed up and gave it a good scratching. Next, they helped the old bear, who could not get the honey out of the narrow beehive. They climbed up to the top of the tree with the hive and then dropped it, cracking it open. Finally, they found the princess, crying over a loss she would not speak about. So they wrapped their little arms around her in a great big hug and stayed until she felt better. When they were done, they returned to the pious pelican. Did it feel good being as generous as I am? Asked the pelican. It did, said the goblins. I'm glad, said the pelican. We all have problems that we can't solve on our own, but if everyone goes about with generosity in their hearts, then there is always someone on hand to help. But we all must commit to do so, or there may be no one there to help you when you need it. This made sense to the goblins, and they thanked the pious pelican for food and the lessons. Of course, by this time they were hungry again, and that remained an ongoing problem until the day the stalwart moose taught them to fish. But that's another story. Okay, so it was beehive, don't help this one.
Maybe not.
Don't feed this one.
Actually, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
There we go.
Nailed it. Our lives would have been so different if their friendship hadn't gone to shit.
The Pelican Crossing is a special gift boutique located near the O'Shea Glacier, catering to Gatineau Channel tourists, as well as Dallas Crossing locals. We specialize in an assortment of high-quality products from home accessories, handmade souvenirs to personalized apparel, and locally made art. The Pelican Crossing will be the first store to act as a relay between the buzzing arts and craft scene and customers. In addition to a wide array of novelty handcrafted products, the consumer will enjoy friendly and noble customer service from Vecchi's store co-owner Tessa Vecchi and up-and-coming artist Marianne Ronan. This business plan is prepared to obtain financing in the amount of $20,000 to purchase inventory and to help cover expenses in the first year of operations. In year 1, the Pelican Crossing plans to break even, and in year 2, we plan to generate moderate profit. All right. Oh, I think it's time to go down. Where do we go down? There we go down.
You really want to go? You sure we've seen everything?
Yeah, let's go.
Either way, I'm ready for this to be over.
Me too.
Oof. Where's she? Is this the spot? Yeah.
This is the spot.
I can't believe he's been down there this whole time. We played Compass and North Star here. I wish she would have just told us.
She tried to tell us. In her own Marianne kind of way.
The stories. Yeah. What are you thinking?
I'm overwhelmed.
That we just found out we have a brother, and at the same time that we'll never get to meet him. It's a lot to process.
Poor Marianne. Come on. Let's keep going.
Okay. Let's go down to the pier.
It's time for us to figure out who Marianne was arguing with on the dock.
Let's figure it out. Let's do it.
Almost.
It's Tom!
Tom? Tom Vecchi is our father?
Of course. It had to be him.
Tessa knew, didn't she?
Yeah, she must have. That's what she didn't want to tell us.
God, Marianne and Tom?
I know.
Ugh. What should we do now?
Yeah, call him out here and make him tell us what was going on.
And if he won't?
We know his secret. He will. Tom? It's Alyson. We need to talk. We know it was you.
I don't know, is that a smart way to announce that? After he tried to burn down the shed? Uh-oh. Oh, so it was Tom. Oh.
Let me take the lead on this. I know him better.
Okay.
I thought I did, anyway.
Sure. Whatever. As long as we get answers.
Kids, listen.
You're our father.
Yes.
You knew how bad it got out here. How little we had. Why didn't you help Marianne?
You mean all the money she wanted? Well, we didn't have anything to spare. Well, that winter was rough on everyone. And you would have starved out here if not for all the free food we gave you.
Don't act like you had anything to do with that. That was all Tessa.
That's a cruel presumption, young man. Well, maybe it was Tessa's idea initially. But I supported it. And your mother was happy to live off our handouts.
Yeah.
You tried to burn down our barn and knocked Tyler unconscious.
I never meant to hurt anybody. You weren't supposed to be home.
Doesn't excuse the fact that you didn't even stop to help.
What do you want me to say? I panicked. I was terrified that this whole thing was gonna blow up in my face. I had to do something.
So what do we do now?
We tell him he's got to fix the mess he made. One way or another.
You were here that night. You saw Marianne and Tyler. Why didn't you help?
I know it wasn't my best moment, but she threatened my life.
So you just decided to let her drown?
I didn't decide anything. Everything happened so fast, I panicked. And by the time I got to town, Brown was already on his way out. There was nothing else I could do.
Hey, you hearing me?
Yep, sorry. I'm trying really hard to keep myself from punching him in the face.
Understandably.
He's not even the least bit sorry for what he did. He could have seriously hurt you.
Yeah, he's just a fucking coward.
Does he really expect us to believe there wasn't anything else he could have done that night?
I don't know, Allie. I'd rather not think about it.
You gotta make this right, buddy.
You failed us, Tom. You need to make it right.
I'll do whatever you want, as long as none of this gets out.
Excuse me?
You want me to pay for my mistakes? Fine. But please, Tessa can't know. This'd kill her.
Tessa already knows, Tom.
No. That's impossible.
It never occurred to you the reason Tessa cut Marianne off was you?
But she
What a fucking idiot.
never said anything.
Of course not.
Oh, Lord.
You should try talking to your wife. Maybe if you had, we wouldn't be in this situation. And maybe Marianne wouldn't be dead.
Oh, come on. You of all people should appreciate how troubled Marianne was. She was unhinged. Something like this would have happened sooner or later.
You preyed on her.
That was convenient for you, huh? You preyed on her because she was vulnerable. And you knew you could always blame it on crazy Marianne Ronan if you got caught.
It was nothing like that. Nothing at all. Your mother was a very pretty woman. And she'd been so many places and done so many things. The way I always thought I would have. I got caught up. Love made me a fool. Look, I made mistakes. But this will not go any further than the three of us.
Says
Why?
who?
We know. Tessa knows. Marianne's dead. There's no point in hiding it anymore.
He's afraid it'll tank his campaign. Am I wrong?
Jesus, Tom.
I've kept your secret all these years. I don't want to go spilling it, but I will if I have to.
What?
Yeah. Your little story about self-defense. I've never told anyone how Marianne really died.
What?
That
What?
night, I came out here because I was worried about your mother.
Why do they do it? They made me do it. They made me do it. Why did they do it? It's his fault. It's his fault.
not gonna hurt you.
Fuck! And that coward runs away.
No! No way! You're a fucking liar!
I saw what I saw.
Ugh! You're manipulating us just like you manipulated her!
Tyler!
You're not listening to this, are you?
Be smart about this, Alyson. Are you sure you want this to get out? You've got way more here to lose than he does. His name will be all but cleared, but you'll be a killer. What will your uncle say? And Michael? Well, the whole town might turn on you.
Don't touch her.
You know I'm right.
Just get out of here, Tom. Tyler and I need to talk alone.
Just please. Think twice before making any rash decisions.
Ah.
A whole lot of lives at stake here.
What an asshole.
Leave us the fuck alone. And never come back.
Fuck. Fuck. That's what I say about all this.
Allie, you okay? You didn't let that asshole get to you, did you? Did you?
What if he's right? I've been having all these nightmares about that night, and they were a lot like how Tom said. And now, when I try to remember, that's all I can see.
He's trying to mess with your head, and you're letting it work.
No, it's more than that. Ever since we started digging, I haven't been able to shake this feeling like something's off.
Something's off because he put this in your head. Don't let him get away with it.
He might not be lying. We keep getting things mixed up. We remember totally different versions of the past.
Those are just details. This isn't that. She was going to kill me.
I'm not so sure anymore, Tyler.
I don't think so either. I don't think she would have killed him. After all that we learned, losing them was her biggest fear. I mean, it could be that she snapped and before losing them for like, Child Protective Services picking them up, that is what made her snap, but she even called him Ollie in that letter. I don't think she would have killed her children. But at the same time, you also can't really blame the children. It was just it was an accident, if anything.
She had a gun pointed at me. She chased me. She said she was going to kill me.
She threatened Tom with those exact same words, with the same gun, on the same pier. The thing you said to Eddie the other day got thrown back at me. Don't you think it's possible that happened here
Yeah.
too?
Probably.
I guess
Probably that's
it's
exactly what
possible.
happened.
Fuck. I don't know. And we're never gonna know the truth, are we? Because the second you walk away from something, that's it.
Yeah.
I guess at this point, you just have to decide what you believe.
Me?
Yeah. You need to start dealing, Allie. And that means coming to terms with whatever version of the past feels the most true to you. No more running. Whatever you choose, you gotta live with it, okay?
Ugh.
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm going to kill you! I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna hurt you.
I don't think so. I think it was just a tragic
I'm
accident.
not gonna hurt you.
Like, I can see why Tyler believed
I'm not gonna hurt
in that second that she was mad at him because obviously of everything that was going on in his mind and his fear of rejection, right?
hurt you.
So his fear was real. His perception of the situation was real, which led Alyson to protect her brother. But from what we've learned, I don't think Marianne
I'm not gonna hurt you.
threatened Tyler.
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna hurt you.
Oh, please. No, don't do this.
Alyson, this isn't what...
She was going to kill herself.
Yeah.
Just herself. You interrupted her and we got confused.
Are you
Yeah.
sure?
Yes. That attic. Tyler.
That's
that
why
was
she
meant
built it,
for
yeah.
us. It was
This
her
is-
way of explaining what she was going through.
It was her farewell letter.
I made a horrible mistake.
Hey, it's okay. I'm here.
Wow. Ugh. Oh man. This is all so incredibly
Hey,
sad.
peep
From
what I
all
just
points
found
of view.
downstairs. What do you think? Will it have aged well, or just gone bad? Where are you at right now?
I just keep hearing her say she wasn't going to hurt you. Over and over.
We were kids. We freaked out. We weren't equipped to deal with that shit.
She was just talking to you. And I killed her.
Stop.
Yeah, but in the moment, she didn't know. She had to, in her mind, had to act to protect her brother.
I don't want to use our voice again. Ever.
What? Seriously?
I don't know. But I want to stop feeling like this. And I think we'll be better off without it.
Okay.
This morning, I kept getting these horrible visions. Of you and Marianne and Eddie.
Visions. Like our memories?
Yeah, but different. It was all my worst thoughts brought to life. You were in my bedroom saying I abandoned you. Eddie called me a snake.
I'm sorry. I should have been there for you.
It's okay, I was the one who walked out. I can't let that happen again.
I don't think it will. Something's been pushing us to find answers. And now we have them. Maybe I'm wrong. And if it stays bad, we can stop. But I really want to keep what makes us, us.
The Mad Hunter was forced to remain below the lake with the Moon Hag, but she did not kill him, because even reduced to just one hand, he was too useful a servant. Lo, he plotted
What do you
the day
think?
he would emerge,
Brothers and
to
sisters?
once again hunt the wise princess and earn back his left hand.
Always.
And that is the story of how the crafty goblins rescued the wise princess from the Mad Hunter.
Ooh. Where do we go from here now? Six months later, okay. That's quite the jump. Guess they still have the house. Look at that! That's a summer haircut.
One last look. I'm good to go.
It's the pigeon.
Hey,
Oof.
it's me.
Hey, me.
House is empty. I'm getting ready to head out. So, last chance. Is there anything you want me to do while I'm in town?
Listen, Ty, you're dropping off the keys with Tina, right?
Yep, gonna leave 'em at her office on my way to the ferry.
Well, that's it then.
How's Juno?
How's Juneau?
Big and full of people, even without tourists. Michael's been writing up rules for the apartment. I need your support against his whole food policy.
Just refuse to sign anything until I get there, okay?
Okay, but you better hurry. If he gets his way, we'll only have one small shelf for junk food.
What?
Heresy. I'm gonna need like twice that just for snack cakes after my surgery next month.
I know, right? This cannot stand.
Oh, surgery settled. Okay, set. Okay. What are you doing?
How are you?
Good, actually. Really good. You?
Same. You know, emptying the house really cleared my head out.
Thanks for doing that. The observatory really needed me this week. And after everything that happened, I've just felt like I needed to keep some miles between me and Delos Crossing.
No worries. You still loving your therapist?
Gail, yes. I was actually just doing some letter writing she
nice.
assigned me as homework. It really helped me get some perspective.
That sounds awesome.
Have you heard about Tom?
Did you see the article I sent you about Tom losing the election?
Oh.
Ah, yes. I saw your message right before Derby practice, so I didn't have time to read it. But I did cackle at the headline.
Did you picture Tom's face whenever you went in for a block?
No, but that is a great idea.
Anyways, think I should swing by the store for one final fuck off?
See you never, Vecchies.
That's all good news.
Okay, I'm gonna hang up now.
See you tonight.
Okay, I'm gonna take one last walk through the house and then head to the ferry.
Drive safe.
Pretty sure that's the only way possible in the old Alyson Mobile.
Love you, Tyler.
Love you.
Okay, this is almost this is, I hate to say this, but this is almost all too positive. I'm
Turns
worried.
out you didn't need our help losing the election, Tom.
Nice. Hugh Brown, okay. Takes on Alaska Crime Commission. Calls for legislative task force to examine law enforcement crisis. Okay, that's good. That's good.
I should pick up Alyson's stuff on my way out.
Alyson, you'll find enclosed in this letter your severance check. I have also packed up the last of the personal items you left for you to pick up at the store. Please coordinate with Michael to see when is the best time for you to come by the store. I wish you the best of luck with your future endeavors, Tessa Vecchi. Okay. Let's look around. What else is here? Not sure if I like his new haircut, but it's very aerodynamic, so that always helps. And there's some pictures. Anything else here? Oops. What do you have here? Let's take them. Have some pictures. I think especially now the memories probably are more positive. Hey goblins, word in town is you guys finally sold the house. I came by tonight to help you fix what needs to be fixed, but there was nobody home. Are you gone already? Things change so fast these days. Anyway, you know where to find me if you want me to fix things. If you're still in town, I mean. It's getting late and I'm pretty tired. Oh, and I'm sorry for acting like the stupid ass I am. Everywhere I look, I think about what used to be. I've been trying to do better, but I think it might be too late for an old bear like me. Not sure if this will reach you. It's getting late. Call me if you're still around. Be safe. Sam. P.S. I wish it was an easy way to fix everything as a boat. Fair enough. Sam seems to be a very good person.
Man,
like, he really cared.
Seeing it empty is so weird, but at least it's the last time we'll ever have to.
Oh, one of those. But we just leave it on the ground. Okay, it's part of the decor. Okay, Michael, must be a relief to be finally done with that place. No doubt. Traffic's not too bad. I should be back at your place around 4 p.m. Traffic in Delos. Only if the mailbox bandit escaped. Hey, I'm making that biscuit thing you like. Damn, on my way. I'll probably take out some fire hydrants and stop signs. Don't dial it. Keep it warm. See you in a few. Perfect. Oh, was there something else? Better take it. Oh, we just put it in our pockets. Yes. Can fold it up. Dallas most wanted escapes. Oh no. I want a sequel just about that raccoon. Oh, I didn't want to go outside, actually. Not yet, at least. Click too early. Yeah, let's see. Let's go to the kitchen. In here. Which is gone. We talk about the new haircut? No? Okay.
Goodbye, room. Goodbye, room. Goodbye, man on the moon. For posterity.
Anything else? Seem that way. There's a
Certainly
paper
hope the
plane.
new owners are Mr. or Mrs. Fix-It.
The paper plane. I mean, it's a beautiful house. Obviously, you would have to put in some work, but looks great. Oh, apply. Oh. Let's check out the outside before we leave. I think I played too many games where you then get like a final gut punch. But this seems very positive and wholesome as an ending, and I'm worried that something bad will happen still. Juno University, the Junoversity, is what they should have called it. Oh, what was that? Leave the house for good. Well, give me a second.
I should have probably run these by his place. Or just dropped them off at Bernie's. Last night's dinner wasn't that good. But better than going back to the Vecchies.
Yeah, I wouldn't get food from the Vecchies now.
I hope the next goblin family bakes a lot of sand pies in this.
Yeah, hopefully.
Guess you guys moved on too.
Maybe they moved with us. I like to imagine that they moved with us. Not sure if the birds want to live in Juno, though. Assume here everything is closed. Yeah. Okay. Just making sure. It's now boarded up again.
Goblins out.
Oof.
I'm sorry we're leaving you alone out here.
Let's hope nobody ever digs this tree up.
Bye, Leo.
Or like the tree gets knocked over by a storm, and that would be awkward. This is beautiful.
Everything okay, Ty?
Oh, they're... Oh.
Actually, yeah. Everything really is.
They are using their voice.
Yeah. Time to move on.
Yeah. Look at this. Can I buy the house? Do anything out there, and then I guess we'll leave. Skip a stove. Yeah, that was a good one.
Still no beavers. Well, I'm right behind you guys.
Maybe they also move with us. I imagine all the animals are in the trunk of our car. Guess it's time to leave.
Well, this is goodbye for real, I guess. Hey, Aaron. It's Tyler Ronan. I thought I'd catch you on your break between sessions, but I guess you're going long with another rebel with too many causes. I know I haven't reached out since I left Fireweed, but I just wanted to say, well, you were right about grief, about it going in circles. This morning, I was out on the porch staring at the fog, and my mother, she just tumbled right out of me. But it was okay. It actually felt good to remember. Anyway, give me a call back if you get a chance. I'll see you around. And thank you.
And that's it. Wow. Thank you, everyone, for joining me, for Tell Me Why. That's it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I really enjoyed this. But it was a fantastic game. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I wasn't too big of a fan of Life is Strange 2, but enjoyed the previous two games before that, and this one really hit the spot again for me. I felt very connected to the characters, and I thought the story overall was very intriguing. I wanted to learn more about it. It had some minor twists and turns, I would say, but it all was still very plausible and made sense and felt contained and realistic, and I thought they did a really good job with the game. And yeah, I'm excited to see what they will do next, but I'm also excited for you to join me on this journey through these games. Let me know what your thoughts are. 3 chapters of Tell Me Why, and now it's at an end. I guess we will get the recap of our decisions at the end, so I will just let the credits roll a little bit, maybe give you guys the chance to reflect on what happened, especially in the last episode here and overall, and maybe also have some time to type and let me know what your thoughts are, and then I'll be back when we are at the decision screen, or maybe there's a post-credit scene, I don't know. So let's watch the credits, give the people credit where credit is due, all the very talented people who worked on this game, and then talk in the end. Okay, we're back. Alyson was grateful they completed Mary Ann's puzzle. 84% completed the puzzle. Like, who, like, the 16%, like, why did you, like, what happened there? Alyson was influenced by Tom's testimony. 0% believed in Tom's testimony? Oh, what? Really? Nobody chose that? That is so interesting. I mean, here's the thing. I think for me, it wasn't necessarily that I believed Tom. It was more that after everything that we found out and after everything that Alyson had experienced, regardless of what Tom said, that I felt like that was the truer version of things, regardless if Tom's testimony is to be believed or not. But that is super interesting. Let me know what you guys did I mess this up, do you think? But I don't know. The twins trusted their bond and kept their voice. 96% held on. So I guess that is mostly dependent on your decisions and how close they are, right? Because there wasn't really a decision to be made. So I guess if you had too many diverging decisions, or like decisions that impact your bond negatively, they are in the end like, now let's better drop it, kind of thing. And he remained in the dark about Alyson's responsibility in the murder. Also, again in the minority, 35% did not confess the truth. That is so interesting, because I felt like, I mean, and maybe I am completely reading the character wrong. If you can read a character wrong, right? I tried to play the character the way I felt like they would act in those situations and what they would decide. And I felt like they kept that secret for so long. And it was such a personal thing, not only obviously about potential consequences, but like that was Tyler's and Alyson's thing. Like it was their secret. And I don't think Alyson would, on her own, without informing Tyler, share that. But maybe I'm seeing the character wrong. Sam felt understood by Alyson. 71% listened to Sam's story. Confronted Sam with his addiction. Michael was happy to become good friends with Tyler. 67% kissed Michael. Well, I felt like in the moment, it was a little too early to move for the kiss, because like, especially shortly before that, we were just like, is it really, should we not? Is it, I feel like Tyler was very much still in a position to kind of figure out where he stands in terms of the dating world, if he even wants to enter the dating world. And I feel like we kind of opened up that, hey, yeah, let's see where this is going. But I feel like in that moment, although it was a very sweet and quite romantic moment, it didn't really feel like Tyler would have made a move there in that moment. But again, maybe I'm just seeing things completely different than anyone else. But if you or anyone knows struggling with suicidal thoughts or experience emotional crisis, you can find help using these resources. You matter, and we need you in the world. So please do that. Screenshot that if you need to. Get the help that you need. And I think that is one of the things that the game did so well. It touched upon so many very heavy and important topics, but in a very respectful way, in a very mature way. And I also like that in the end, we got a pretty happy end, all things considered, right? Obviously, they went through a lot, but I feel like for me, now my first impression looking back is really the morale of the story is that no matter what it is, you can overcome it. And it may take a long time, it may take a lot of hardship and pain, but there is a way out. And I think that might be something to take away from the game. And I think the game really handled that well and told a very compelling, interesting, and mature story about two young adults struggling with some very, very intense things. So thank you all for joining me, though, on this wonderful journey. As I mentioned before, I really appreciate that. And it was a blast to play the game. It was a blast to share that experience with all of you. And I'm looking forward to the next DONTNOD game. This makes me very excited for whatever they have planned next. And I'm definitely looking forward to that. If you enjoyed this, please give the video a like, maybe consider subscribing to the channel, share the videos with friends, family, and the people on the internet. That all helps me out a whole bunch and will bring you more content in the future. And if you want to go the extra mile in supporting the channel, and by that, supporting me, then you can check out the Patreon link in the description box below, or also just check out the Discord link down below where you can hang out with us and chat with us on a daily basis about games, life, and everything in between. So maybe that's an option for you, and we would welcome you there with open arms. Now, this was Tell Me Why Chapter 3, the end of another story wonderfully told. Thank you all for joining me, and until next time, have a great time. Bye-bye.